What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today. It is the 21st day of March. Here we are at about $70,700 with roughly 10 hours left in the day. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Let's get into it. I am sick today. We'll see how it goes. If I'm coughing a lot, clearing out my throat a lot, I'm sorry. It's even more so the case now. Yesterday, I took a rather bearish stance. Yesterday, the stance that I took was, come on now, there we go, was that we would approach this trend line here. I'm still in that camp. I still believe that we could go down, but we did hold our ground a little bit. It is the weekend. It is Saturday today. Yesterday was not Saturday. I don't know what I was thinking. I had it in my head that it was Saturday for some reason. Today's Saturday. That explains a little bit of excessive volume yesterday. A lot less volume today, a lot more neutral today. That's very typical of a Saturday. Anyways, we were moving down and volume picked up, but we didn't go anywhere. Typically, whenever you move down and the volume picks up but you don't go anywhere, what I mean is, again, we didn't move down like this. We just moved down a little bit and the volume was picking up. If you were to go lower in the slow, you'd expect to continue to go lower and the volume to continue to pick up. So this, to me, was very exciting to the downside until it wasn't, until we reversed here. It's making me think that we could come back up. I do still believe that more or less from this area, is this the right low to take? Yeah. We will interact with this trend line here. We will come back down and interact with this trend line here. It just might not be as immediate as I thought it was going to be. And that's okay. We look at the 1 hour time frame, and looking at this here, you kind of do have, in my opinion, like this flat top with ascending lows. It's not perfect, but it's got this kind of like ascending triangle aspect to it. I wouldn't be surprised if we moved up. This would be a retracement of this overall drop, and then from wherever we find resistance, that might be where we commence this next phase lower down to those areas that are below 69,000, below 68,000, and probably around 66 to 65K. I could be wrong, and we'll go over what that looks like here in a second, or right now even. High to low here, 382 rejection, back below the 236, bouncing off the 069 area. That's awesome. Back above the 236. I would expect that we do go higher, at least to the 0.5, if not the golden ratio. Okay. We were bullish at this low. I was bearish up here. And then yesterday, whenever I saw this reversal, I became bullish again right here. But for all intents and purposes, for the video evidence's sake, I'm bullish here again. Okay. So bullish here, bearish there, bullish back at the same area. If you're trading like that, you're not losing money, right? 0.5 golden ratio area, that's 72.3 to 73.7K, somewhere around there, okay? That's at prior areas of support that we could find resistance at here, prior areas of support that we could find net resistance here with the golden ratio, and prior resistance all in this area. So that to me makes sense. We might see that happen early next week. It is the weekend. I don't expect much excitement to happen. And if we do move up over the weekend, I would expect that we move down over the week. It's Saturday, historically the most boring day in Bitcoin's existence, so I don't expect anything too exciting to happen today. Maybe we do move up a little bit tomorrow on Sunday, but I really think that this move, this area, will be achieved Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week, somewhere in that time frame. And then we will commence going lower, and I do think we'll go below this low. The RSI, hold on. Yeah, man, I'm sick as a dog. Whew. Oh, it's fun, though. Okay. The RSI broke out of its downtrend here, lower highs, lower lows. We are now in this higher low, higher high kind of phase. Again, things are boring right now. Even if we keep moving sideways like this, whatever, we might move up on Sunday. It very well could be Monday that we're up in this overbought zone, or even Sunday, late Sunday. So that kind of lines up with what we were just saying, right? That's nice to see. Stochastics are looking a little bit bullish here, but they were looking a little bit bearish here, and you didn't go anywhere. So whatever, you're neutral, not trustworthy. The MACD on the 1 hour time frame is really what made me bullish yesterday. Was looking at first, it made me bearish because we rejected the zero. That seemed very incriminating. Okay, very, very incriminating. But the rejection itself was a false rejection. Don't get me wrong. You can have what seems to be a false rejection come back down as if you're really going to cross, but then that's also a proper rejection as well. You get like a double bounce off of here. This could be a false rejection, but then this is the real rejection. It could be like that. But this seems a little bit more pronounced. This seems a little bit more above the zero line. The fact that we've gotten here, it makes me think that this was a false rejection, and that implies that we will go to the upside, right? I'm not the only person who pays attention to these signals, not just in the MACD, but in these other things. A lot of these indicators looked bearish here, but we just didn't go anywhere. So I'm assuming that threw people off, and we're probably going to move to the opposite direction of what people were placing their bets on. 4 hour time frame here. Hold on. That one wasn't so bad. Oh, it's a really like deep cough. It's weird. It's like dry. It's definitely a dry cough. Definitely, and man, it's not fun. Anyways, 4 hour time frame. Every time we've been oversold in this area since February, right? Every single time we've been in this low area has been a low point. And that's what made me initially bullish at this range here. I was getting some bearish implications yesterday, and I thought that we'd come back down, maybe form some bullish divergence or something and get that lower low. But no, we didn't get that. And looking at this now, I think we will persist higher. We will continue to move higher until we're back at the 60 level on the RSI or the overbought zone itself. We were overbought here, relative high point, overbought here, that was a relative high point, overbought there, relative high point as well. And it's the same song and dance every step of the way through, right? Between that 60 and that overbought zone, all of these were our high points. We're here in the RSI, that wouldn't mark a high point, at least by the way that this range has been operating so far. We move up like this, I could see that marking a high point, right? That it all kind of lines up right with this prior area of support and resistance, doesn't it? And the 4 hour, if it closes here, if it closes there, we will definitely have some type of mark that looks consistent with these rejection points. You could wick past it. We might not stop here by all definitions. Maybe we wick past it a little bit, throw people off, get everyone extra excited. But as long as we're not closing above like $74,000, any price action up to this area, if we come back down, will likely promote lower lows relative to this. And that's kind of my expectation, because a lot of people right now, I've been paying attention more to what other analysts are saying over the past couple of weeks than I really normally do. But I think it's important to be aware of what everybody's saying, because I like to be aware of the herd mentality. And everybody is doing the same thing here that they were doing back here. We're either going to do this or we're going to do this. Like that's the only thing. Everybody here is saying we're either going to do this or we're going to do this. That's one of two paths that we're going to do. Which tells me that if we go up, people are going to get excited and then we'll sell off. If we go down, people are going to get excited but to the downside, and then we'll pump. In other words, every pump gets dumped into, every dump gets pumped into. Right? We're moving sideways. Everybody seems to believe, I shouldn't say everybody, but there's a lot of people who believe we're going to be around $80,000 in the beginning of April. So I think a lot of people are expecting that between now and the end of this month of March and going into the beginning days of April, that we're going to see a movement like this. If we move up like this, that's going to give them confirmation bias. But then if we move down like this, that'll take that confirmation bias away. At the worst point, literally at the worst point, that's where people will flip bearish. and that's where we will flip bullish. Okay, and what likely happens, mark my words, we're calling it in advance, is that we don't go above this high first. We probably do go below this trend line first, if not to this trend line, this green line, and then from there, that'll be the commencement of the move that does actually take us above this high. Bitcoin's been treacherous since February. I don't think it's stopping here. The stochastics look bullish. When we get into the overbought zone, that might be when we actually see this push higher. This is the 4-hour time frame. We've got 10 hours left in the day, so there's 2 more candles. Tomorrow, Sunday, we should be in the overbought zone. Sunday could be the day that we move up. If we close higher on Sunday, we will likely have a gap. We will, on the CME, have a gap up. We'll have to fill that going into the next week. We don't have to fill it, but we likely do. The MACD is pretty unreliable, but for what it's worth, since we've been in this range, it does look like we're at a low point, so it looks like we're going to move up. That doesn't mean that we have to move above this high. I'll accept defeat. I'm wrong, and everything that I'm saying so far in this video is off, and we are actually moving above this high. We're actually seeing a move that does move us above this high. I'll accept that if we close let's say 2 4-hour time frames in a row, not one and then 2 below and then 1 above. I'm talking about 2 4-hour candles in a row above $74,000. If we can close 2 4-hour candles in a row above $74,000, I'm wrong. I'm wrong right there. We're moving up, and we probably see, I don't know, what are we going to see? $78,000. 79, I doubt we get to 80K. If we do, maybe just above it, but I doubt it. Daily time frame rejected the overbought zone. We're back at the 50 now. Higher lows throughout all this, higher highs throughout all this. This actually looks like good structure. Typically, I would call right here for getting overbought, and the way that this is set up, I could really stand to be wrong. So getting above that 74K level really might allow for us to get some separation here. If I'm wrong, right, I will be wrong for basically this amount. That'll be the amount that I'm wrong, and then inevitably we'll sell back off. So there's really no pressure. I highly doubt that from here we're going to see some exuberant force come in. If that happens, great. Then I'm really wrong. We've been through that before. It happens, man. It definitely happens. But that's not my expectation. Stochastics are looking to find support at the 50. Also kind of a bullish sign as well. You know, here we found support at the 50, and then we got that higher high. Here we found support at the 50, and we got that higher high. We actually had a slightly higher high here as well. The daily time frame, I guess, is giving me the most grief whenever it comes to this idea. There is a chance that we find support at the 50, but we don't get overbought. That does happen sometimes too. But that daily stochastics, I guess, is giving me, and the RSI, is probably giving this idea the most grief. We're still here at this 0 level in the MACD, and I think, personally, just looking at this, right, we're going to find resistance right here. I don't think that we're going to push immediately higher right now. Right at the 0 for resistance, bearish divergence on the daily MACD. I think that we will come down, and I genuinely believe that we're going to be in this range, this consolidation range. That doesn't mean that we can't move higher. That doesn't mean that we can't move lower. But we're going to be in this range until May and likely June. June, I think, will be the month that we break out to the downside. And when we break out, I'm not expecting anything too much below 50K. Maybe we bounce at 58,000. Maybe we bounce at 50,000 on the dot, or just above there, or just below there. But I doubt we get too much below 50K. I don't really have anything else to say. I expect this to take time. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one, okay? Take care. Bye-bye.